Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Anna. I am a portrait photographer in the Denver, Colorado area, and today we are doing a red vintage photo shoot. DeMarcus had hit me up and he was looking to do a collaboration with me. I was intrigued because I would love to collaborate with other photographers in the area or even models and makeup artists. So Rich and KJ were our models for the day, and Jaida was lovely enough to do the makeup for the day as well. So to start our day, we're going to bring KJ into Jaida's studio. I had a specific look in mind and I wanted to make sure that it stayed to this vintage style that we were looking for, and Jaida matched it perfectly. So huge shout out to her for being able to take time out of her day and work with us. Once we had finished makeup, it was time to go to the Roosevelt, which is where our shoot was going to be. I want to give a huge shout out to that venue. We were looking for a specific venue in general for the photo shoot that we had in mind, and a lot of restaurants or bars said no or had a specific requirement that we just couldn't abide by. So the Roosevelt was kind enough to allow us to photograph there, so I want to give a huge shout out to them. And when you have other photographers in your photo shoot, I always try to make sure that I distribute enough time between the two of them. And DeMarcus had not shown up yet at this time, so I decided it was a good idea to get the models in their outfits and go ahead and start doing individual photos of them. I wanted to make sure that KJ did not mess up her makeup or Rich didn't get anything stained on his clothes by the time that he got to the Roosevelt. So they brought their clothes in bags or made sure that they were protected and changed into them after they had gotten to the location. So I highly recommend that this is something that you guys do with models in the future. One thing that I do want to note is because we were at the bar during opening hours, there are a lot of customers around, and you want to make sure that you are respectful to not only the venue but also to the customers as well. So make sure that you don't have your camera pointing in a direction where someone could potentially be in the shot and feel like they didn't get permission to do that. So always make sure that when you have your flashes in a specific direction or you have your camera pointing somewhere, it is in the direction of the models or people who have agreed to do the shoot rather than customers that are at the venue. This is the photo that we're going to be editing today. This is the before and this is the after. And the reason why a lot of my photos come out very dark is because I make my Sony LCD screen very bright, and I never want to run into an issue where things are overexposed. So this kind of has helped me in the long run. So I've always just used that as my rule of thumb. And because Sony's really good with low light, I just typically boost up the shadows and the black and the exposure just to make sure that it works perfectly, or at least matches the vibe that I'm looking for. So another thing that you can do is you can select the subjects and just increase the exposure just for them. Because we are trying to keep the background still dark, you can use this as a rule of thumb to just enhance the photo and just brighten up your subjects. I wanted to edit this in Photoshop and use generative fill. In my opinion, I feel like this photo is a little bit too tight. We don't have enough breathing room on any of the sides, so I decided to generate a couple of inches into the photo just so we have a little bit more space between KJ, Rich, and the background. Because we were in such a tight space, it was basically all I had to do was just use my 85 and do the best that I could, and I figured using generative fill with Photoshop would be quite interesting. Like, I was a little scared that Rich's elbow was not going to fit perfectly with the generative fill, but it actually worked out great, as well as we can't see where their legs are, so I was flipping through all of the options and seeing how well Photoshop did, and it actually did a really good job, so I'm pretty impressed with it. So now that I have all of those ready, I'm going to go ahead and select all and group them together so you can see the before and the after. And I feel like, in my opinion, it has a lot of breathing room, which makes it a great photo. One thing that I forgot to mention is I only wanted to use an hour of this venue's time. When I was communicating with the owner, I let them know exactly how many people will be there, how many lights we will bring, as well as the time slot. And in my opinion, I feel like an hour is a perfect amount of time to get some great shots, but also not be disrespectful to any of the customers. There was nothing posted, and obviously some customers might be a little intimidated that a bunch of people are just coming to to take some photos. If they don't feel ready, obviously what you're gonna have to do is just make sure that you're having your cameras in the position where no one is going to be in the shot that doesn't necessarily want to be. And we thought that this actually would be some great promo for the venue, so I offered to send the photos to the owner as well. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that was part of this project. This was a really fun shoot and I'd love to do things like this again. So if you are interested in more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below. I have a couple concepts in mind and I can't wait to share it with you all. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys are staying safe and I will see you guys in the next video.